Here we are again at the new year. I've often thought of January as kind of a hinge in which the past and the future pivot. For January is a time in which historians chronicle the past, celebrities are memorialized, record books are closed. And yet it is a time also of looking forward as resolutions and predictions are made. New accounting procedures are in force to record gains and losses and investments. It's a time of looking forward to the future. And that is how the world looks at this month of January, the beginning of a new year, closing the books on the past and opening a new chapter of yet is what to come in the future. But today, as we celebrate this feast day, this solemnity of the baptism of the Lord, we get a different perspective about our life. For the baptism of Jesus was a moment in which his ministry began, a ministry that was completed in bringing about the salvation of the world by his death on the cross and being brought back to life by the Father and the Spirit. This is the moment in which everything began. And it is an opportunity for us to think about the significance of our own baptism as well, that it is an opportunity for us to recapture our identity as those who have been baptized. And let's be clear, we're baptized not because Jesus was baptized in the Jordan River, but rather, as St. Paul tells us, we're not baptized into the baptism of Jesus, but we're baptized into his death, where our salvation has been won. The message is clear. Our baptism means that we are joined to Christ in the work of bringing about the salvation of the world, or as we hear from the Acts of the Apostles, where Jesus began a life of doing good and bringing healing to those who were oppressed. And so January is an opportunity for us to recapture our identity of who we are. We are those joined to Christ in bringing about the salvation of the world. In the past, perhaps we put too much emphasis on how the baptismal waters wash us clean of original sin, that sin of Adam. And while that's true, that's only half the story. Rather, as St. Paul does remind us, by being baptized into the death of the Lord, we're given a share in his work of bringing about the salvation of the world. And when we accept that, when we accept this identity and this dignity of who we are, a lot of things can change in life. First of all, we begin to see that the events of the future should not worry us or trouble us as though we're going to be overwhelmed by the unknown. In life, that can happen, as so often we feel the victims of events that are out of our control. But for those who join in the work of salvation, we see ourselves as agents. We see ourselves as bringing about the reign of God in our world, of helping others along the journey of salvation that the Lord opens to us, that we're taking responsibility. We're doing our part. We're not just victims of fate and things that are yet to come. But it's also an opportunity for us to realize that those very small things that we do to help others along the way, about the small things of doing good, but also of bringing healing to those who are oppressed, maybe by guilt, by faults of the past, by prejudice, by raising them up. We are doing more than just helping this world be a better place. We're joining in the very work of Jesus that's won on the cross of bringing about the salvation of the world. The Holy Father has asked us in this Jubilee year to see ourselves differently, as pilgrims of hope, as he calls us. And that begins at the start of a new year, as we celebrate our own baptism. As we take to heart the fact that the Lord has not only washed us clean in the waters of baptism from our sin, but he has given us a dignity, a share in bringing about the salvation of the world. That's the hope that we should latch onto as we begin this new year. Not just allow the pages of the calendar to flip by one, as though in fact we're spectators, but that we're really agents of bringing about the salvation of the world as pilgrims of hope.